Welcome back. I'm your host, Jay Hits. Welcome to What's Hitting. I got an interesting topic of events that have happened in the past week. I want to talk about all these UFOs that we've been shooting down. You know, in the past week, February 10th, there was a UFO shot down over Alaska, another shot down over Canada, and a third over Lake Huron. And so I just want to talk a little bit about that. I find this topic extremely fascinating because for the longest of time, this sort of stuff didn't make the news. People didn't talk about it. They acted like it did not exist. And now it does. And, you know, I just want to talk a little bit about Dr. Stephen Greer. I don't know how many of you have heard of Dr. Stephen Greer, but Dr. Stephen Greer has been talking about this for many years. He's been talking about this in his documentary called Unacknowledged. I'm going to drop it in the description so you can actually go find it. He also talks about, you know, this information being accessible now on the FBI website. I'll drop that also in the description so you can go there and you can be tracked just like I am. So you can read about this stuff. It's available now. You know, documents get released after every 50 years. And so the Roswell incident that happened with UFO, that information, you can go read it, check it out. They tell you all about the stuff that they did to make it seem like propaganda and to make people feel like that they were crazy. It gets talked about. But what I want to ask is the question of why don't people really believe that there's something going on? Why aren't people paying attention to all of these UFOs that have been shot down in the last few days? I think people should be paying attention to this. You know, we are not alone in the universe. I'm pretty confident that most people believe that now. And if you don't, here's some things to think about. When Donald Trump was the president, I believe it was in 2019, he created what was called the Space Force. Dr. Stephen Greer, in his documentary that is at least 5 years old, he was saying, you watch, coming soon, there's going to be a Space Force. And then high-ranking government officials have even talked about there being a galactic force, that is a space galactic force, that is waiting for us here on Earth to become advanced enough to be invited to join this galactic force. And I think we are starting to see hints at us moving that direction. You know, as there's war going on in the world, you know, the war with Ukraine and Russia is going on and they're blowing up stuff. And there's this constant risk of things escalating. And so I think we're being visited again, just like we were visited in the past when we were testing nukes, when we were blowing up things that have some type of repercussion in the universe. And so I think we're starting to see objects that are flying, just monitoring things, and we're shooting them down. But I just wanted to jump on here just to cause you guys to think again about all of these sightings and UFOs. One thing that I learned from Dr. Greer's documentary was he talked about these dark site projects, these projects that get government funding through defense, and they develop this crazy technology that eventually is not under review or under the guidance of our government, because when these projects are funded, certain people are presidents. And then once they're no longer presidents, and they're said to be temporary employees by these dark site directors and individuals running these dark sites. So the incoming president, they don't make aware of these projects fully, or in some cases at all. And so Dr. Stephen Greer, he talks about this in his documentary, and how when Roswell happened, we collected the ship and we started reverse engineering technology. And he walks really through that process and some things that he's been able to track over the years, and how our scientists and, you know, engineers reverse engineered things into technology that we now have today. And so, you know, a few years ago, they were saying that the technology that we have access to now is technology that they would say is probably 50 years old, 100 years old, older than what we are currently using, or that our current tech is 50 years or 100 years behind what's currently possible. But I've heard as recent from Billy Carson and different individuals like him that the technology that we're using now is about 300 years behind what is currently available through some of these dark site projects and whatnot. But the documentary, you guys should check it out. It is really thought-provoking and eye-opening with the documentation that he uses to connect and prove his points, and how he's trying to enlighten different government officials, specifically individuals working in the Pentagon, and how they are unaware of all of these different projects that are taking place and happening, and the technology that's being developed that they're not being updated about. It's really fascinating. And so I just wanted to jump on here just to cause you guys to look at some things. And I wanted to hear your thoughts, like, do you believe that we're alone? Why or why not? And if you know of some good documentaries or some things that, you know, the rest of the viewers should check out, share it in the comments, and I'll make sure that I mention it in another video. And so don't forget, hit that subscribe button, become one of the hitters. And again, thank you for visiting my channel. And until next time, be blessed. Hit that subscribe button. Subscribe.